Hello, Eva.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. I'm very grateful to see you.
I'm so happy to see you too. I always follow you on Instagram and see.
Oh, thank you very much. Sorry, somebody's calling me. I need to
Okay.
probably switch off everything. Okay, now we can talk. I'm very happy that you follow because I don't know. I like to create things and share, especially, and it's a great platform to do this.
Exactly, and you are very creative, and I saw you through the whole lockdown and all the things that you've done, and it's wonderful.
Thank you.
And I saw you. Your sister is also a musician. She's also
Yes,
yeah,
violinist also the
yeah.
same.
Wow, it's amazing. And is it just coincidental, or did you both start together? What was the reason?
Actually, I started first because
Yeah.
I'm older sister, and
Mhm.
it was very natural actually because my mom is violinist, and of course she
Oh,
wanted that her little daughters would play some instrument, and it happened to be that we both were showing our interest very much in music, and I remember how I was taking little violin, that this kind of
oh
size,
yes,
and
yes.
all the time acted my mom next to her, and
Oh really?
so it was really for my mom obvious that she needs to bring me first to the violin teacher, and then later my sister.
Okay. So your mom didn't teach you?
You know how to say, no, she didn't really teach the basics. Of course, she was bringing me and my sister later to a professional teacher,
Ah,
for kids,
yeah,
for little ones.
yeah,
And my mom wanted, of course, that we would get really good basics.
yeah. Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
and you know how it's with kids. Kids don't listen very often, parents.
Yes.
This
I know.
it comes maybe later.
Yeah, I homeschooled my children, and I know what you're talking about. They could very easily say to me when they not feel like doing something. Yeah, so I understand that. Yeah,
No,
but
I can also admit, of course, my mom always was next to us in all my musical path, and
mm,
all the time going to competitions together, to concerts. She was always listening. Even before some exams, she was, listening and
mm,
giving feedback. So
yeah,
definitely, she was always next to her.
yeah, but that's good. So that she knew also what you needed. She knew how to motivate you, and that's very important. Yeah.
That's true. Sometimes I didn't even want, but like she would say, we need to go to concert because you'll see how this and that is playing. So after concert, of course, I was motivated to practice,
Yeah,
because this is
yeah,
pretty hard for kids to really
yeah,
understand why for.
yeah, yeah. Now that's true. And you are from Lithuania.
Yes,
So
from
what brought
Vilnius.
you to Vienna?
Oh, actually, mm, music,
Oh,
definitely
really?
music. No, actually, I fall in love into the city many years ago when I was traveling with my parents. And first I came here and I thought, oh my God, that's my dream to be able to live and study, and
Mm,
all these cultural events that happening every single day was so inspiring that I said one day I want to come back here.
mm,
And after basically like close to my finishing school
mm,
last year, so I was also thinking like what to do, where to study. And I was already studying Lithuania at the best teachers class. And I
mm,
thought just next step would be actually moving abroad if I
mm.
want to be better violinist.
Yeah.
And of course, my parents were a little scared because like, oh my God, daughter goes abroad, who's going to help
Yes.
her? It's a lot
Yeah.
of worries and so on. But I still was very, very brave. I said, no, I want to live alone. I want to build my life alone. Wanted to
Yeah.
prove something, I don't know, to the world that I can manage. And
Mm,
started searching for teachers.
mm,
And yeah, of course, through the colleagues, through some Lithuanians who were already in Vienna, I got to know some professors, and I had some master classes, and basically, yeah, I entered MDV, Musik und Darstellende Kunst Universität, very successfully. I can say number 2 was in the whole competition.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So actually, yeah, I was thinking, oh, so actually Lithuanians prepare not so bad.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. And then
Yeah.
now you have finished, you're finished with your
Yeah, I
studies?
graduated MDV, and I actually still I'm studying postgraduate, if that calls studies, in chamber music.
Oh, I see. And then in the meantime, you do concerts, and do you teach as well?
Yes, I teach privately.
Yeah.
Right now, actually, it's very fun. I really enjoy it because
Really?
it's very nice to share your thoughts and knowledge for so many years, and especially I like to teach professionals, of course,
Oh, yes.
because I have also non-professional students who just love very much music. They're hobbymäßig, they'll like to understand why certain musician is so good. So when they try really by themselves, they understand and appreciate way more the artists.
Yeah, I think that's also important, that some people who not necessarily want to become musicians, that they can also have the opportunity to just play the instrument, without that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they also start understanding how difficult, how actually it's not about holding instrument, how many more things included about fears, psychology, about physical structure, you fit, you don't fit, about even how much you need to work on being flexible, like yoga, I don't know, or in generally be fit, that you would be able to perform. So all these things are very important.
Yeah, and that's also things that people don't think about. It's like you say, people just think, oh, you hold the violin and you play, but there are many other factors also involved. Do you find it very difficult in Vienna because there are so many musicians?
How to say, it is not easy, I can admit. Definitely it's not easy. It's a very big competition. And I would say, in meanwhile, when I was studying, I also had a feeling that it's a city for actually superstars in a way. It's a lot of possibilities given to the people who are already on top, but maybe less possibilities for people who have potential to grow. In a way, like even concert wise, I would wish one day maybe I will create this opportunity by myself for younger generation musicians to be able to perform regularly, because I think that's very, very important in our profession. That's how you become much better, and always, each time you go on stage, you can perform more close to your perfect version.
Yeah. I understand. I think it's very it's also how you learn and how you see where you want to go, So it's
Yes.
motivating in a way. Yeah.
Actually, I can admit to you that for me was a little shock when I came to Vienna. Like literally after half a year of living here, I was thinking, oh my God, so where are the concerts? Like, where could I play? Because in Lithuania, when I finished school, I was already performing everywhere in festivals and also in abroad. And because my school was sending me as a best student there and there, to present Lithuania. And when I came here, I thought, oh my God, now I need to literally from zero build up by myself something. And of course, it's not easy. Like probably for everybody who comes alone without any support.
Yeah, I can imagine, because already now we see how the freelancers have to really work to get the jobs and to get the concerts and so on. And
Definitely.
even in the pandemic, it was difficult, and because of the support that the freelance musicians didn't have, you know, like
That's true.
and contract. But do you think in a way that I don't know why, I think almost that you are more sort of used to thinking how to promote yourselves and how to find the concerts and how to look for the jobs, that even now in the pandemic, even though it was so difficult, that you might come out of this having thought about different things. Like I see you, how you invent yourself on Instagram, for example, and how you make these little videos and so. And I think it's wonderful because you give also a bit of an insight into what it is like to be a violinist and what you do. And I know you describe things, and you have a great sense of humor as well that I see.
Thank you very much.
um, and I think this is wonderful that you do that, you know.
Thank you. Yeah, I think you, well, actually, I cannot say for me, whole pandemic, it wasn't boring at all when I really actually found what to do.
Yeah.
You know, and I think maybe many musicians or artists became really sad and in some way depressive because they didn't know what to do. They got so much used to this daily routine of performance in a way that I can also admit I needed time to really understand actually how could I use my time as best as I can, because we had all the time. And yeah, I was really wondering how could I express myself not only on stage but also maybe in the internet and share and make somebody maybe laugh.
Yeah.
or happy, or maybe put someone into discussion. What that was my also goal, to really start to put some questions which are very important in life, not only about music but also why we live and you know, many things. But yeah, I actually can admit that social network helped me to be positive and to connect with people.
Do you think now in this time that there is more solidarity between the musicians, that you tend to understand each other or come together more, or are you more of a person who works on your own and likes to do your own thing?
I am very solitary person, but
Really?
I have a feeling that I often don't find the people who would actually want to do with me something.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I was always playing with other musicians, but you know, you need to have such a crazy passion to do this long term. And I really start understanding that there are little people who have such a crave to create constantly and not to give up when it's not coming out so quickly results. And yeah, often I'm alone and still trying not to give up, you know. Of course, I have also, my life is very wavy. Sometimes I'm sad, sometimes I'm very happy and excited, but inside this musical wish to really share and to change in some way world into better place to live is always here, you know.
Yeah, that's wonderful, and also great that you can admit that there are times when it's not so great, you know, that you don't feel so great.
Of course.
That's all also things that we should talk about, because it's not always that glamorous and it's not always that wonderful. And you know,
yes, and I can tell you that I was thinking exactly Instagram is the place where we could artists share these things, because I see audience rarely understand how much frustration, work, and crazy, yeah, emotions comes with that performance that you put on the stage. And I think it's a great platform for us to talk about and share how actually this product is made, how
Yeah.
many things are involved.
Exactly, yeah. That's what I think as well, so that the audience just not see the result, but that they are almost a little bit involved in the process, you know, and
Yes,
that it's about the art, not necessarily. I think there's a fine line when it comes to self promotion and to promoting the art. Now, if it's about the art, I almost think it's interesting, and it's the artist is also interesting, but it's almost as if you attract the audience when and educate the audience in a way to make them
that's
understand
true.
what it is like to be a musician and to do your
Yes,
art. And this is why also the platform, the Artist Voice that I started, I wish that artists would write, you know, about why they like this piece of music, or um, because I think you are so involved in the music that and for people like me who are not, I don't know much about the classical music, but if somebody tells me something about a piece, that's why they find it so fascinating. It makes me so inquisitive. I always want to then go and listen if I can hear it
yeah,
too, and I can feel it too. And I think it's so important that you know, that's talked about as well.
that's true. I absolutely agree, because I have also in my surroundings not musician people.
Mm.
My friends are not musicians, and they often give the best feedback, like the best comments about
Really?
the concert, or even moderating. I
Mm.
also like very much this kind of concerts where you have connection. That's why I
Yeah,
love chamber music, because it's way closer. You know, audience is way
yeah.
closer to the artist, and this briefing together, and
Mm.
discussing about the pieces or moderating in the concert, I find very cool format of
Mm.
events.
Yeah, I think so. I was only once at a living room concert, you know, that was done in the living, and I loved it because it felt so close, and it felt so you could, you know, yeah, I don't know. I like that type of. I mean, I'd love a concert in a lovely concert hall as well, but I mean, sometimes you find this connection um, very endearing if you can be so close. Yeah.
That's true. I also think so. And for example, I play sometimes in live music now, where we go to the places, you know, where people cannot come to normal concert halls.
Mm.
And these concerts are usually incredible, very,
Mm.
very touching, because people get so much into the music, even they maybe even don't know what kind of piece I play, but they get
Yeah.
emotional so touchy that they start crying, and you know, it's really,
Yeah.
really very fascinating feeling
Mm.
when you
Oh,
have,
that must be
yeah, this
wonderful.
honesty between, you know,
Yeah.
musicians and listeners.
Yeah. So, what do you have coming up? Because I read on Instagram something that you're talking about a concert.
Yeah, actually, I'm very happy, because slowly we're coming back to the
Yeah.
concert routine. And yeah, this month I'm performing in Musikverein with my colleagues, Claudia Debussy, very beautiful, very impressionistic piece
Mm.
with harp. Then I'm playing together with Mislav Brajkovic, cellist, duo. Yeah, we are actually performing mostly together right now.
Mm.
Also in pandemic time, we had some concerts, video, you know, recordings,
Yeah.
and we're also going to Hungary together for the
Oh,
concert.
okay. Uh-huh.
Yes, then we are having also a little private concert
Mm.
together. So actually, yeah, we're supposed to play in Lithuania in pretty many festivals as duo with chamber orchestra, Lithuanian chamber orchestra, but unfortunately it was postponed.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, so
Mm.
now I don't know, maybe some different things will come out. But of
Yeah.
course, I really see that other organizers, because of pandemic, they also had some kind of doubts to really 100% invite all the musicians, because they didn't know if they will have funds, you know, and
Oh yeah.
that's big problem, unfortunately, for the country government to really find the financial support for all the artists.
Yeah. Yeah, and but slowly I think it will start happening, and I'm
Yes.
happy for you that there, you know, that you can do this and be back on stage again.
Oh yes, I'm very, very looking for. I really also understood these all recordings are very, very fun and actually very self-developing. I see how we learn through re-recording and listening. This is really great for musicians to get better and better. But of course, it's completely different feeling when you have audience listening.
Yeah.
There's exchange, you know, this dialogue that comes, magical dialogue in the concert.
Yeah, that I hear so often, that the artists say it's this connection with the audience that makes the concerts wonderful.
Yes, I find that's actually very important. On the other hand, we should, musicians, artists, never forget why we do that. We wouldn't also, you know, do just because other ones. So I think also that's little danger that we could also discuss long time, that we would truly do what we want, because only then it becomes really honest.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think there's a bit of a control in that sense, what you play, or do you think it's, you know, when it's a concert, that, or is it all your decision that you play, what you play?
Oh, about program, you mean?
Yeah.
Mostly I always put my fingers into it, so I always, of course, offer first my wish.
Yeah.
But then I see if mostly actually people or organizers are very happy with my suggestions.
Yeah.
But of course, I cannot say it's not 100%. Sometimes
Yeah.
you really need to fit into the even, you know, timetable, like minutage,
Yeah.
that you need particular time to play, or different idea, you know, not necessary concert can be in particular frame, you know, they have hidden idea what kind of music if you I don't know, talk about romanticism, you cannot play something really modern, you know, and of course you need to adjust very much. But I think it's also great because you can combine, you can really I lately see that audience really enjoy when you put in the program pretty different style of music, like epochs, I mean, classicism, romanticism, and then maybe modern something. I find that's the best, because people have different picture and they have some kind of comparison. Somewhere they are very excited, somewhere they're more dreamy, and I find very cool that with different epochs you can bring different emotions, of course, to the audience.
Well, yeah, that's actually true.
And of course, I think it's very great when you can educate, when you don't play always the same, and you know, 100 times heard music, but little putting some spice into the repertoire.
Yes,
you know?
I totally agree, you know, because then that makes you also then think about it and try and hear more of it, you know, if it's something new, and try and find out about it and so on. So I think it is, like you say, it is actually educational in a way.
Absolutely.
Not just
I think we are all artists have some kind of goal in our lives, or you know, yeah, I think that we should all think, how could we change into better? How could we educate? That we often very complain, I can admit, even I do sometimes, that like, oh, this audience didn't stand anything, like they want just that and that, but actually maybe it's our fault that we didn't put it interesting, you know. if there would be more understanding between each other. That also artists, I think, we should never be really close. It's not good to be really close, because you just put away from yourself the people. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's true. And you know, otherwise you just I mean, you can lead the performance by, or the concert by giving the audience not necessarily what they want, but maybe what they should be hearing, you know. That
Yes,
way. Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. But
It's
listen,
it's basically, I would say, life goal, because you need to always keep in balance. You can
yeah,
also only play what you want, but the best is
exactly.
when you find the golden balance.
But you know, it's like going to a restaurant. You know, if you go to a restaurant and the chef puts some other things in the food, and you eat it and you taste it and you think, oh wow, this is amazing. You know, and you wouldn't
That's
have
true.
thought about that before. And it's the same, I think, with musicians and artists to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. But listen, Eva, tell me, what is your pre-concert ritual? Do you have a little ritual? What do you do
Oh,
before concert?
actually, not too. I cannot say that something special I do. I
Yeah.
would say, I can honestly tell you, when I was younger, I liked always, in general speaking, to speak to people, to just, to be natural. But I also, through the time, understood that I, in some way, lose my energy. And when I come to the stage,
Mm,
I need extreme energy.
mm.
And if I was just talking before this, going on stage with that person was laughing, sharing my stories, then of course you're like little chaotic, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I understood that before concert for me is the best when I'm calm and not talking too much, not meeting if not necessary other people. And I really try not to really too much lose my energy, but actually quite the
Yeah.
opposite, to be more inside, to listen myself. And of
Mm,
course I, like, technically speaking, take my scores and repeat in my head, like try to think inside how I would like to perform, and be calm, literally, basically. Like I would say, keep calm the volcano which will break on stage.
oh, okay.
You know?
That's a good image to remember when we see you play.
Yes, really. But I also can admit that I often need to really consciously think, calm down. You cannot put yourself everywhere. You need to really focus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's something that I need to do before each performance.
Mm.
But for each person is different. Since I like people and I love audience, I love my friends, everybody. For me, maybe it's not so easy to be calm and control
Oh, okay.
it. For other people, it's quite the opposite. Maybe
Yeah.
they're so focused and so much into their self that they are not so much maybe giving or like sharing. So we all, I see, for the time, deal with different things.
Yeah. But and then afterwards, what do you do after the performance?
Oh, afterwards, usually I'm like on wings.
Oh, really?
I can tell you that I half of the night I can sleep because I'm so getting so much power after performance. I don't know, maybe it's adrenaline, most probably. That afterwards I cannot. I usually I either spend time with my boyfriend, with my family, communicating, sharing how it was, or with friends, or with audience, depending, of course, of the situation. But usually I'm like
overexcited.
energetic.
Yeah. Oh, that's so great to hear you say that, because that means you really enjoy that. You know, really enjoy it.
Yes, actually, I do. It feels, you know, that I gain the energy, and I really think that's why I need to play because
Yeah.
I like some kind of feeling musical vampire that I am because I give energy, but I get like triple more.
Mm.
Don't
But
know how this.
yeah. But this is so wonderful. Just give the dates of the concerts again. Is it in
It's on 16th.
yeah of June?
Then yes, 16th
Yeah.
of June is in Musikverein. 26th is exactly in Hungary, and some other concerts are private, so unfortunately I cannot invite.
Oh, okay,
But
okay. Yeah.
I don't know, just I'm gonna definitely share also other dates, which I didn't share yet because it's on the question mark.
Okay.
For other days that I'm gonna play. Also, it's gonna come some great projects that I hope I'm gonna perform Beethoven triple concerto and
Ooh,
Vivaldi,
wow.
Four Seasons with orchestra. So I'm actually really looking forward and hoping that's gonna happen.
Yes. Well, by that time, maybe we'll have another chat, and then you can tell me about that.
Yes,
Yes.
and I also actually want to thank you very much for your great interview, and also I checked wonderful photos that you did of the musicians.
Oh,
Very
thank you
actually a
so much.
wonderful idea, I can tell you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, well, it's I think it's a way of starting a conversation, and it's a way of, I don't know, upliftment. That was the idea, to uplift people and to show, you know, that the artists are at home. And so there's many things about that. And yeah, so, and I met, of course, many wonderful people. I think you know, Vienna, it's like you say, there's so many wonderful artists here in Vienna, and it's such a
Absolutely.
wonderful creative city, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what I think that it's also big thank you to you because you made also people be aware that there are so many artists and they are
Yeah.
all at home.
Yes, but and you know, I photographed about 500 artists, and still, I mean,
Wow.
yeah, and still there are so many that I haven't photographed, you know. But I mean, I think it's made a point now, that you know, that there are so many here in Vienna. So
Very many. And uh, I also think that in pandemic times, there were many questions about uh, do we need so many actually?
yeah,
And where could we find the space under our stars? You know, like there's so much
yeah.
creative and amazingly talented musicians or
Mm.
artists, and we all should find somewhere place to be. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but you know, what I discovered in the time was, because I think it's not just for musicians, I think it's for many people. You know, you see many restaurants in Vienna, for example. You see many um, say specific shops, and
yes.
you always think, okay, so why, you know, there's so many, how do they all make a living? And it's this question, it's so many musicians or so many artists in Vienna, how do they make a living? Yet if I think of the 500 I've photographed, they are
Yes.
all different personalities, you know, they are all
Yes.
so different, and they're all so
Hmm.
memorable. You know, I can so
Yeah.
remember the situation and what we talked about, and where they were, and so, and I think in for that sense, that you know, it doesn't matter if there are 1,000 violinists, you will
Yeah.
get 1,000 different violinists. You know, you'll get, everybody plays it in their way or have their personality and their energy that they put in there.
That's
And
true.
I think place for everybody, you know, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, we just need to be strong and keep being unique how we are and not to
Yes.
try to
Yes.
copy
Yes. But I
somebody.
think in the lockdown time, maybe it was good because everybody was in a way a little bit isolated, and could find themselves or could discover what was it on that they give or that they take. I assume that.
That's true.
And I think for artists, I think artists would be able to reflect, you know, on that and see what they find. So
Absolutely. I think
yeah,
that was, in a way, very useful stop in our lives
yeah, yeah,
to
I do.
live way more meaningful afterwards.
Yeah, and I think the young artists like yourselves as well, you know, um, you have now, you know, this was at the starting point of your career, so you have now just something to build upon and go forward,
Yes,
you know, and I think this will also be different in the future for you because you will always have this experience in the background that you've learned from at the very young start of your career. So
that's true.
I think if we look at it in that way, I think it was a time for self-discovery, and then now getting further in the career. Yeah,
Yes, that's true.
yeah,
It's actually very useful. We can be grateful. I mean, of course, it was tragic time because of so many dying people, but on the
yeah,
other hand, very very self-discovering time it
yeah,
was for all of us.
yeah. I think
Definitely.
yeah, I think it's this thing where normally we have control in a way over certain things, and here we didn't have control. And you know, and I think you as artists had to do so many things to, you know, was thinking so far ahead. Your plans were always 2 or 3 years ahead, and the concerts were
Yes,
planned. So you almost lived uh, also in a way, okay, next this, next this, next this, and there wasn't a stop. Now you were forced to stop.
that's
And
true.
yeah, and I think that can only be good.
That's true. And I also think that through pandemic times, we in some way became more transparent in
Yes,
a way that we actually understood if we truly want to do this or not.
yes,
And
yeah.
I think, in a way, just the strongest state
Mm,
what they do,
mm. Now
who
I heard
really
times,
love it,
yeah,
what they do.
yeah. Now I heard many times that artists say they not question, but they really thought about why they're doing it and if they want to do it. And
Yes,
they get the answer to say, yes, I want to do it. And this is what I want to do. And then from there, they just, you know, went ride the wave and did what
that's
they
true.
wanted to do. Yeah.
I also realized that I had great opportunity to meet wonderful teachers, professors who were questioning these things. And because they from beginning, even my mom said, you know, yeah, that's actually a very difficult profession. Are you sure you want to do this?
Really, yeah.
Like, you need to be devoted, literally
Mm,
devoted to this if you want to be good. Otherwise, you know, you're not gonna succeed anything.
mm,
And the sooner the better when you realize these things. But I think pandemic especially put us all in this life questions.
yeah. And also, I think a time, you know, if you think of it, it's a year that nothing happened, say, for example. And normally, if somebody would have said to you, for a year, you don't have to do anything, you will go in a total panic and you will think, no way, then my whole career is over or whatever. But here you've seen that in a year, you know, you were still there and you can still play the violin, and there was no concerts, but you can still carry on. And I think maybe this will also, this immense rush to, I'm not just talking about musicians, I'm talking about everybody who tends to, everything has to happen in the next week or in the next month, you know, that it stopped us to think, you know what, it doesn't have to. It can happen
Yes, that's
in a
true.
little while. And if I don't get to the top in the next 2 years, there are still time for me to go, you know, and still time to have.
Yes,
So yeah, I think we live in a very instant world, you know,
very,
and
absolutely,
I think
super
this stopped
interesting.
us. Yeah, and I think this stopped us a little bit to think, okay, it doesn't have to be this instant. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Actually, I think we start to, in a way, be more grateful for the things we do and have
yeah,
because we stopped, actually.
yeah, yeah. No,
And
definitely.
I think also, honestly, I don't know how does it go even with the art and this crazy rush in our lives. Because I think good things comes very slowly, don't you think?
Yes, yes, definitely. Yeah,
Like really good quality things, you need
yeah,
time for that.
yeah.
And
No,
even
definitely.
I can admit, even social media in some way is too fast for the
Mm,
art, I find it.
mm. Yeah, because
Because
it's
it's
very,
more
yeah,
about consuming and this direction it goes everything, but actually
yeah,
art is something very valuable.
yeah. I saw a video clip on YouTube about a woman who made soya sauce, and
Okay.
it takes a year to make soya sauce, to ferment soya sauce. Yeah.
Wow, didn't know
She
so long.
started making soya sauce before the pandemic. She didn't realize, I mean, she didn't know, but she started, I think, in February, and then in March, it was the pandemic.
Hmm.
So the soya sauce that she made, and you have to stir it every day for a year. Every day you have to
Yeah.
stir the soya sauce, and then after a year, the fermentation is finished. And she went
Hmm.
through the seasons and through the whole pandemic, and she sort of noted it and thought about the whole, you know, the soya sauce and the fermenting and the whole time that we were not being able to do things and so on. And then of
Yeah.
course after a year she had like a little bottle like this of soya sauce. Yeah. And it
Wow.
and and
So interesting.
I think it's amazing to think it takes a year to create something like that, like the soya sauce,
Yes.
uh, and that there was that patience in it, but yet it was something that she created. And
Yes. Oh, that's really amazing to make
yeah,
such a video to really inform the people
yeah,
how
to
much
make it,
time
yeah,
and patience you need to put in
yes,
that.
yeah. But anyway,
Really incredible.
so always think of the soya sauce when you are in a hurry,
Yes.
because because everything happens in its time, and it takes the time to get to that point where it's ready, you know, and
That's
that
true.
shouldn't be sooner, and it's ready at the time that it should be. So the
That's
concerts
true.
that you were cancelled for you will come, and it will be at the right time, and it will be the right concerts for you.
Yeah, I really hope. I started lately believe that nothing happens for nothing.
No, no, definitely not. Yeah. Yeah. But
Maybe
Eva,
not this time, later.
yeah, it was so lovely to talk to you,
For
and
me
keep me
too.
updated about your concerts when it's something happening again, and we have a little chat, and we can promote it for you. Then it will be wonderful. So, can I
Okay.
post this on YouTube, our
Okay,
conversation?
of course. Yes.
Okay, great.
Thank you
Okay,
very, very much. For me also was really wonderful to talk to you.
I'm so glad we could talk. Okay, have a
Have a
lovely
great day
afternoon.
then.
Thank you, and you too.
All the
Thank
best.
you.
See you.
Thank you. Bye.